I will say, too, Corey, I think we got to give Sark a lot more heat than we are because it's starting to become a trend with Texas and their offense in these big games. You think last year, to all the big games that they played in, the two matchups against Georgia, offense was a no-show. End of the year against Texas A&M, offense was a no-show. Get to the college football playoff against Arizona State, you really didn't do much. And then the two games against Ohio State, the one against the playoffs and yesterday, Sark, it just feels like is way too conservative in these big games. His calls in the red zone and the goal line are not good. He's got so many great weapons on offense. He's got good running backs, good receivers, good offensive line, and he's a great play caller. Just feels like in these big games, Corey, he gets way too conservative. He kept the training wheels on Arch yesterday, and I just thought it was a really bad game plan from Sark. And, you know, it was telling. Like, Texas had a lot of 2nd and 10s in that game against Ohio State yesterday, and they ran the ball a lot. You know, if you trust your quarterback in those situations, 2nd and 10, you put the ball in his hands so that he can either throw or he can run and get you yardage, and they were just running the ball. So I thought the game plan from Sark was pretty poor. I think Arch is going to be a good player, and I'm actually considering betting his Heisman number now at 18-1. Douglas was making the point you don't want to bet Heisman favorites, and I agree, and I don't want to bet Arch at 5-1. 18-1 though? Like, I think that's closer to what his price should have been before the season started, was around 18-1. And now you have this narrative of, with how badly he looked in week 1, imagine if he rallies and Texas rallies and looks dominant and he plays really well. They're still at Florida, at Georgia this season. They play Oklahoma, Texas A&M. They have some big games. So I'm considering maybe betting some Arch at 18-1 now to win the Heisman because I just think the reaction yesterday, I mean, the kid was making his first road start. It's a top 3 matchup. He's going out against a really good defense. And his play caller, again, just like in these big games, really does not put his quarterbacks in the best opportunity, in the best area to succeed. So I think that was a lot on Sark yesterday too. But I'm not down on Arch as most people are.
Sark is a better offensive coordinator than he is a head coach. Now, he can have the number 1 team in the country and win the national championship because it's the University of Texas. And when you're the University of Texas, you're going to have the resources, particularly in an NIL era. You're right up there with the Ohio States and the premier, the LSUs, the power programs of college sports. So that's my thought on Sark. Betting a Heisman favorite before the season is always a bad idea. You know, just like betting an MVP favorite before the NFL season is always a bad idea. But at 18-1, right, PJ, this is what I'm thinking. I think the bookmakers have seen that they saw enough. Because they drop him to 18-1, they got to be assuming coming into the season there's already liability on Arch. Now you drop him to 18-1 to take on even more liability. I think the odds makers think that he doesn't have a shot.
It's a great point, but also I think they know, Corey, that they were so disgusted with what they saw yesterday that they don't believe that he's a Heisman caliber player. So you're right. It is telling that they dropped him that much, and now there's even more liability because they easily could have just dropped him to 11-1, 12-1. Nobody would have batted an eye. You drop him to 18-1. Now it's like, I mean, you're nearly tripling his price from what it was on Friday. And now you're giving people an opportunity to bet it to 18-1. It is a good point. I do want to bring in our producer, Addie Bates, because she is a massive Texas fan. She grew up in Austin, Corey.
So this is what I'm going to say about Arch. Yes, he did look terrible in the first half. I think the second half showed so much potential. Like his first half, I will agree. His mechanics were terrible. His arm slot, if you looked at that alone, it was way off, and it was just bad. This man, though, he also needs to work on. You're going to go back, you're going to go watch film, and see, like, oh, I can't be throwing missiles when the guy's 5 yards away. Nobody's catching that. And I do think it was just first game jitters. I really do. You're going against Ohio State. This is not like they were playing Tarleton State, which maybe I shouldn't say that because they did win.
They did.
They did win.
Upset Army.
But you're going against one of the best defenses in the country. Now, I should also say Texas defense looked fantastic, in my opinion. So if there's anything for Texas fans, that is amazing. But you go back and you look at Manziel's like Heisman week 1. He did not play great. Joe Burrow's first start with LSU, I think he had 140 yards. It just takes time. I didn't think he was going to go out there and look like Tim Tebow, like prime. out there. Now, am I still hyped up about him? Yeah. I don't think I'm as down on him as like most people are because of that second half. If he came out in the second half and it was just as bad, then maybe I would be. But man, he showed some potential, and I do agree that Sark, oh my gosh, we cannot be so conservative with play calling. He did that last year. It drives me nuts. But Arch, I think you go back, you're going to go watch the film. You're going to see your mechanics, and I think next week he's going to look a lot better. Granted, yes, it's not as good of a team they're playing, but I think this was just first game jitters.
I haven't bet it yet, Corey, at 18-1, but I'm definitely considering it. What about you? Do you think Arch is worth a bet?
I'm not. I wouldn't get on. I wouldn't get behind it at 18-1. I think we need to see some more positive play. Right now, the feeling it's a bad taste in everybody's mouth. Obviously, it's going crazy on social media. I mean, saying he was adopted and all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not a real Manning. You know what I mean? He had more commercials than completions and stuff like that. So just really, it has been tough. Everybody piling on. I do expect things to simmer down and for him to get his footing and play better. But, you know, this is an SEC schedule, and he's going to have to navigate this and get himself back in the good footing. I just think it's going to be too tough. If the Saints are in tank for Arch mode, maybe they have to wait another year.